Hello, dospook. Yes, who knows if you're going to reply to this, but you'll hear it, I think. I read your many comments, and I thought they were nice. They were very poetic and artfully done. I love the abandon and the nuance to it. I especially like the part where you talk about burning allegiance to my parents. Let me look for the comment. Fire and burn and bury these people who share your blood. They taught you the language you've turned to a viper's split tongue and with cold-blooded reprisal. And then you say, sorry little shit that you are. Gary is a dragon and you want entrance and cold alliance within his den. The underbelly is weakest and most guarded. If one gets close, then demands are expected through reiteration. And they obey and get in order, get in line, or are expelled from the den. But Gary has no gold. Praise life, watch the horror show unfold. Save the day, however you believe. Praise the day, as it's all one day. One long day, no need to hurry. And the rest is a lot to do with saying, life is short, life is just a dust in the wind experience, and no one cares about science or, really anything, because they're so focused on their own now, their own projection in their mind. And, I'm aware of all of what you're talking about, and the part where you're talking about Benatar's third premise, which is, I don't know what they are in numbers of 1, 2, 3, I can't remember. It's, I think that's the one where it says the presence of, or the absence of pain is good regardless of who experiences it. And if that's the one you're talking about, then I would have to disagree. I'm going to look into the videos where you dismantled the theory and apparently defeated Gary. You know what? I have to say that I found an identity and in Gary, in a way, in the whole, the whole shtick, the whole philosophy. And I think that it's natural for me to carry it. It's not something that I'm needing to contrive. It's not something that I need to force in myself, because I've always had some sense of this way or perspective. It's a natural way, and Gary has been the same. That is the bond that I, and probably some of these other antinatalists, might carry. And I mean, the Barklord video, it did reiterate my, allegiance. I mean, it strengthened my allegiance, and the reason for that is just, everyone needs an answer. Some people think God is the answer. Some people think, whatever. They come up with all kinds of crackpot shit. But, there's really no alternative explanation, and I think all of you have demonstrated that. You don't have anything like this to hold on to. And you don't care for it. You don't need it, it seems, either. So, I say fair enough to that. I'm under no illusion that I'm going to bring about the end of sentient life through my actions. However, as it has been explained before, I do see a value in speaking the truth as I see it. Even if, this whole Benatar thing is an art in and of itself. That's the art of my natural temperament. It does seem like I'm asking for advice, but I'm really doing the same thing that Gary's doing. I'm asking for a counter-argument that means something real. And most of the counter-arguments offered could be explained as being pleasure pursuits or seeking for the sake of seeking. And I like to separate the seeking aspect of life, the game-playing aspect of life. I separate it out from this truth business. Because all of the personal stuff that can happen in a life is explained on the Efilist channel. And I sat there and I listened to every single one of those videos. I listened very closely with an open mind, not with a dogmatic mind. And I thought to myself, as each line passed, yes, well, yeah, that explains this whine, this gripe, that explains this joy, this experience, that explains this disappointment, this glory moment. So, the value is reinforced again when I see people come to realize it. They come to realize that when they hear it. They come to change their mind when they're exposed to this. Even people who aren't naturally predisposed to it, inherently, once they hear it, once it's exposed to them psychologically, it's acceptable. It's not something that is completely intolerable to real people. And there's actually a hunger for this amongst people who've given up the God delusion. So, there's only two things that I could suspect that would lead you to feel the need to change my mind, and that is either you don't see any value in it because it doesn't speak to you personally, or you assume that I'm under some kind of spell. I'm not. I liked one of the lines that you wrote in there. It says, "You are the company that you keep. They define you. The people you associate with define you." And you're saying, align with something better. And I can appreciate that in my personal life. Like, I've cut off a lot of friends and just people because I don't want to be defined by the wrong people. So I take that away from what you wrote. And, I'm going to dig through your videos and try to rip them apart. If I can decipher what you're talking about, because sometimes you don't make it clear enough for the common man to read it, and that's not always the best and most effective way to communicate.